Welcome back to our weekly Icarus Patchnotes discussion. Uh, I'm gonna be here. I'm here with Karel. Icarus not gonna be in here because, like I said in announcement in her channel, her PC has burst into flames, and this is literally quoting her. Still haven't heard anything from her, so I don't think she has managed to get another PC yet. But like I said, Carl is here for me to do the patch notes discussion and subsequent gameplay. So I'm gonna switch back over to Discord. Hey Carl, how you doing?
Hello, hello. Good, and yourself?
Not bad, not bad. It's Friday again, so that means time for a new updates discussion and gameplay afterwards.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully, unfortunately, I think you've already mentioned to me that Echo is unable to join. We should perhaps consider how long, uh, because I mean, you guys would wait for me forever to continue on the thing, so I'm assuming we'll just wait for Echo, but unless we
For the
wanted to set up
next
a new
storyline mission, we have to do a lot of preparations anyway. So if we
oh,
can
okay,
do
cool.
that
Right. In the meantime, no,
whilst
no, it's good.
she's still getting a new PC sorted, so
No, no,
when
it's all
she
good to me.
comes back,
That's fine.
we don't have to spend that much
Jump
time
into it.
preparation anymore for continuing the storyline quests.
All right, I have no idea why there's so much preparation that needs doing, but understandably, so
Uh,
it's fine.
I done
Today's
this mission solo, and it was a tough one solo.
gotcha. You didn't have one snake playing with you, so that's the disadvantage, but
That is
good
true.
is good.
However, missions do scale with more people in it.
Indeed, but we'll see. But obviously tonight we have the new patch notes.
Yep. So we are at week 152, Windmills. So we have the new tier 3 windmill upgrade from the mortar and pestle. Now this new tier 3 windmill completes our goal of having a tier 3 upgrade for every tier 2 bench or machine. When I read this, the first thing I was thinking about is glass working bench. And then I realized, oh hold on, that one is a tier 3.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I do think indeed we have a tier 3 equivalent of every tier 2 bench now. I'd have to check all the benches though to make sure this statement is correct, but I can't really
We
think
believe,
of a tier 2 bench that does not have a tier 3 equivalent yet. Uh,
well,
One could say the herbalist bench, but part of
that's
the
probably the,
functionality of the herbalist bench, part of it is like can be done in the medicine bench.
yeah, although it's not exactly the same, that you can't go backwards to do the same recipes in the medical bench, I think, as far as I know. I think maybe you could. I don't think I saw all the recipes in the medical bench when I was making the tablets, but doesn't
True,
matter.
true. Tablets should be able to make in the medicine bench though. And
I mean, yeah,
part
I'll tell you the tablets, yes, but I'm not sure if I was able to make the elixir, but what the lower tier version, but that's fine, doesn't matter.
and part of the
We'll see.
functionality goes to the chemistry bench, but that is a tier 4 one. So that might be a bench that you could consider does not have a direct tier 3 successor. But other than that,
That's
yeah. Anyway, let's do the patch notes further. So this week we're completing the tier 3 tech 3 project of having a tier 3 upgrade for every available tier 2 bench. Now with the addition of the windmill. It sits between the tier 2 mortar and pestle and the tier 4 material processor. And we've also got some hot news on next week's new item and what it means for some upcoming additions in the weapon and creature categories.
mm.
So let's quickly jump in and have a read, shall we? Couple of notable improvements. We've added the missing meshes for the remaining canteens and oxygen tanks, so all versions are now held in hand correctly. I hadn't realized some of them were missing, but then again, I don't really take one of those in hand that often. Fix some shadows in the final null sector cave, as there was some strange artifacting going on. In yesterday's stream, I actually started the finality mission, the final null sector mission, and I had to find the cave, which
Mm-hmm.
I so far have been unable to find. No worries though, I have ideas. So I haven't seen that final null sector cave yet,
Well,
but
by the time you find it, it would be perfect.
I'll be fine on it. I'm home this weekend, so I'll be streaming this weekend, so I will be doing the finality mission this weekend. No worries.
Cool.
And bats no longer collide with players and other NPCs. Bats is the Arctic Vesper thingy. Quite rare. Improved targeting behavior of the bats mean they should miss the player less often when attacking. They increase the chance for bats to break out of their idle flight loop to attack nearby target.
Would be useful if you don't have any ranged weapons with you.
Yep. But yeah, if you don't have any ranged weapons, then what are you doing in the Arctic? I mean, sure, by all means go forth and try and kill a bear with your knife only.
Well, spears.
I rather use ranged weapons there.
Mm.
This week's new item, the new tier 3 windmill, which you can see the picture above here, is looking relatively big, but we'll have to build one to
The
see.
angle. Yeah. It should be quite big, but if it's like massive, then it's surprising.
Uh, we'll uh, we'll have to build one to see.
Mhm.
And yes, I don't think it's that going to be that expensive. So in gameplay, I reckon we do co-op gameplay. We can build one. There's
You should be able.
no
There
problem.
should be enough resources.
Exactly. So this week we're introducing a new deployable, the Tier 3 Windmill. This one aims to fill the gap between the mortar and pestle at Tier 2 and the material processor at Tier 4. Just like we have with the other benches. Now the windmill provides a direct upgrade and rounds out the tech tree for Tier 3 in this regard, with all the Tier 2 benches having Tier 3 counterparts. This windmill will allow for faster and more efficient recipe processing compared to the mortar and pestle, and a more suitable option as you level up. The windmill needs to be placed outside as it requires wind to generate mechanical energy for processing. This is similar to the wind turbine as it requires its blades to be clear at all times to run. Again, to be placed outside, so you have to run outside to actually use it all the time. So we have to see how user friendly is this going to be. Plus the mortar and pestle is still overpowered.
Well,
The amount of storage for its size.
it might be actually. Well, if you were to maybe the traditional formed house that we used to have, the regular like 4x4 that we used to have, or the 2x2, no, the 4x4 that we used to
Three
have.
by three actually initially.
Yeah, 3x3. When we had the shack with the fireplace, if you maybe put like a window to the front of the building, you might have been able to stand by the window and access it through the window kind of thing, because it's going to need to be standing next to a single story, to maybe be free spinning blades
Yeah.
versus if it's two double story, then it would be too far out
Yeah.
basically. So
Again, we'll have to check once we build. And hey, missing Muffman, welcome. Thanks for the raid. Welcome to the Patch Notes weekly occurrence Patch Notes discussion. We go through the Patch Notes with a fine tooth comb, so you don't have to. Hey, Josh. Thanks for the raid. How was your Fox stream? And like I already said, welcome to the weekly Patch Notes discussion. We go through the patch notes so you don't have to. Uh, so yeah. But yeah, like you said, Carl, we'll just have to see and build one and see what's its clearance.
Yeah,
Can you put it next to a one high story building, so the blades will
should be
spin
able to.
over the building? It's if
We'll
I
see.
look at the green circle around it, it does seem it's an elevated one, so not like the winter.
Well,
Yeah, wind turbines had the same actually, the high circle.
well, even then, it's like standing character looking up, so it's even though it's a slice, it should be based upon the angle at least higher than a one-story building. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Yes.
We'll build
Moving
one
on.
and we'll have a look.
Hmm.
Next week will be in Ask Me Anything on Reddit. Next week we'll be hosting a special Reddit Ask Me Anything over at Reddit Survival Gaming. This will be both Jake, ex-Taurus, and Dean, Rocket. And will be a chance for you to ask any questions you like. Now, while you may have some basic questions about Icarus, we want this to also be a chance for you to ask some of the trickier and more piercing questions you'd like to know some answers to. So feel free to ask the tough ones, and we'll do our best to answer them. The Ask Me Anything will start on Thursday, November 7th, 12 p.m. New Zealand time, and carry on through till Sunday, the 9th of November at 5 p.m. New Zealand time. Was there 48 and 17? Gonna be what, 65 hours? Am I calculating this correct?
Don't know. I don't
No,
do
no,
math
wait.
on the
No,
fly.
12. Hold on. 12 p.m. is noon.
Yeah.
So talking about 48 and 5, 53 hours. 53 hours of Ask Me Anything. That's a lot. Long time.
I don't think it's a continuous stream, but I believe there'll probably just be posts and then they'll address questions, so it'll
Or
probably have
maybe they
open.
take turns.
That would be surprising, but regardless, we'll just see when the
We'll
date
see
arrives.
indeed. But there will be a link in the Discord next week when it starts, and a link in next week's patch notes to the actual Reddit stream as well. Nice picture of the bottom part of the windmill. I wonder how it's going to look when it's actually running. Let's have a bit of a closer look. Nice gears, but oh yeah, for both of them, left and right. Meh. We'll see how it works when we have built one.
Yep.
So the item for next week is going to be a flamethrower. Nice. Don't use it inside a base, please.
Unless they do like the friendly fire thing and you can't really hurt each other, but then it obviously set things on fire.
Exactly, you'll
So
still set a base on fire, so careful there.
yeah, we'll see.
So next week we are introducing a new weapon type that runs exclusively off biofuel. This is the start of a few new weapon types that we plan on introducing before some new creatures. So in preparation for new creatures we get new weapons, one of them being the flamethrower. Nice and handy in the Arctic, I'd say. Arctic is or is yeah, Arctic is fire, desert slash volcanic is poison, and swamp is frost. Week 2. So nice and helpful in the Arctic. You will soon be
Um,
able to shoot jets of flames and cause even more devastation to this peaceful planet you've invaded. Peaceful? Yeah, right. How peaceful is
it
Icarus,
can be
right?
peaceful. It could be peaceful,
It can be
once you've
peaceful.
killed everything within.
Exactly.
Yeah, once you've killed everything within a couple of miles, it's fine. Things get settled down for a little while.
Exactly.
So it's fine then.
I wonder, like one full magazine of biofuel, how long can you use it? And I'm definitely gonna
That's a good
try
question.
one. Definitely gonna try one at some point in Arctic. Like stand on your beam, shoot a couple of
Yeah,
wolves to draw them in, and then lay waste to them with a flamethrower once they collected underneath your
um,
beams. Make sure you use stone or concrete beams though. Don't use wooden beams.
in my case, I would have to see the damage ticks because if it's just basic fire damage from the same type of ticks that you would do from a flame arrow or anything else, if that's set on fire, the 2 or 3 damage ticks, it wouldn't be useful. So there would have to be like a base damage increase on sort of flamethrowing, which should be the case, but depends
It's
if
a
they
freaking
might be considering
flamethrower.
a rework.
Jets of
Yeah,
jets
but
of flames.
yes, but if I set you ablaze, when we go into the real
Ah,
world,
yeah,
you'll see that 2 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage. It'll take it 10 years for you to die, so that
true,
won't be
true.
fun. But we'll see when they actually release the weapon how it actually goes. And regarding the ammo capacity, yet again, they would depending on the damage. If the damage is actually like 50 ticks of 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, or 200, and it goes up over time as the thing is engulfed in flames, then I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to chug through canisters.
True.
But it really just depends on the damage. If it's,
Yeah, if it takes an entire
okay, we'll see.
magazine to kill a simple level 50 wolf,
Deer, yeah, for example, yeah. So
yeah.
it's just we'll see.
But yeah, I remember the time where we were playing with the mammoth, and shooting
Yeah,
all types of arrows at it, including the fire arrows, including the flare arrows, which made it light up in the dark and such. It was fun.
yeah, yeah. It was just
And
fun, but yet
then
again, there was just
run behind it and hit it with the fists, until it turns around and then switches aggro, and then the other player comes in, and it was funny.
yeah,
There
that
was
is, but
there was
that's well,
fire damage there as well, and it didn't. The flame arrows did not stick that much.
no, they didn't. But we'll see
Although the
regardless.
Scorpion King does take quite a lot of fire damage, usually.
We'll see. It adds up, like you said, but
Yeah,
it's about killing
that does it
something, not
stack.
about making. Yeah, well, that'll also be interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting for next week. Now your support makes these updates possible, as usual. Patch bundle for 20% off. For this nice creature comforts pack is the extra food and water troughs, extra saddles and such. Pet companion packs with some more variants of the dogs and cats. And the zebra rescue mission, which is the only way to get tamed zebra. Which I have to admit, still haven't checked out whether or not it's actually heat resistant. Which it supposedly is, which makes the zebra the only mount which does not suffer from heat in the volcanic slash desert biomes. Or you just go for, like, you say, you know what, I want everything. You go to the completer set, which does include everything you don't have yet, which it basically checks, okay, what do we have, like base game, all the DLCs, New Frontiers, the sticks, all the outposts, the items from the pets bundle, all the good stuff. Everything you don't have yet, it adds to this one bundle, dynamic bundle. Gives you 15% off. If you want to support the developers, definitely go for the completed set. Some of the DLCs are quite useful, useful. Others is more visual. Although the one with the paintings and the geode sets, and those the geode lamps, those are very nice lamps. Set and forget. You don't have to worry about fuel. You craft them once, you place them down, you put them on, and they no fuel, no power needed, and basically set and forget. I find those quite useful. That's my opinion. The Art Deco set, for example, very posh, very fancy furniture. does have the best light sources. The chandelier and the wall light, they gave a lot of light. So if you want to support the game developers, go grab a DLC. Changelog, not a whole
There we
lot
go.
new. New content basically is the windmill.
Yep.
When it comes to fixes, sorry,
No, no,
Chris?
I'm just saying it. We can carry on. So it's
Okay.
just basically the windmill items, blueprints, the angles of windmill, and some sort of
Yeah,
oversaw.
initially they had it set up as an automatic processor, the windmill. However, then the order in which you added resources was very important uh, to determine which item was going to be crafted. Uh,
Well, there you go.
so it was some tricky in getting the right item crafted.
Yep.
And they realized, I've seen this on the Discord communications, and then they realized, yeah, it's not the best way to go, so they made it a manual process. So you select a recipe and you craft that recipe.
Well, it's all good.
Fixes. Fire arrow's flammable component now turns off when touching a water source. Makes sense, right?
Yep.
You
Would
shoot
expect
a
that.
a fire arrow into an animal, it's gonna set ablaze, it jumps in the lake, and it still keeps burning. So yeah, now the flammable component turns off when it's touching a water source. Makes sense. Dirt has been added as a resource pack to the workshop, mainly for the use on outposts or in areas without access to dirt. Yeah, the only way to, well, they did add it to the to the simple quests reward table.
Well, it's just easier
So
to buy.
you
Like that.
could already get it in your outpost, but hey, if you have enough currency, just buy a dirt resource pack. No idea how much dirt is going to be in it though, but well, it costs like 40 dirt for a foundation, 20 dirt for a ramp. So if the resource pack is like 100 dirt, mm, and then I don't know how much use it's gonna be, but on the other hand, hey, you only need one dirt foundation and you can basically dig infinite dirt from that dirt foundation. And areas without access to dirt, null sector has no dirt. However, bring one dirt foundation with you and you're set. It's kind of cheesy, I know, but I've made use of it before. And no, it's not a
Yep.
cheat, it's a cheese.
Yep.
And they've also increased the weight of dirt. Yeah, I usually, if I'm working with dirt, I don't care about being over encumbered. I'm just working on digging dirt, creating foundations, putting them down. And if I move a little bit slower because I'm over encumbered, I don't care. Might be something, by the way, when it comes to the seeding cart, where you have to put dirt and seeds in. So you can't load too much dirt before the cart becomes overweight and the buffalo slows down, or whatever animal you use to pull that seeding cart.
That does make it a little bit more involved then, so it's fine.
Yeah, you have to like hop off and reload the dirt a bit more often. Yeah. Added LEDs and collision to the flat crate missions and added names to the T. Flat crate, not sure which crate that is. Or actually, flat crate might be the storage crate with the flat top.
Yep, because of the two variants that they added, so
Yeah,
indeed that makes sense.
added collision. I thought it had a collision already, but okay. Enabling disabling RGX now requires a game restart. It was required already before, but the user wasn't notified about it requiring a restart. Now it tells you so. And fix and ensure on editor startup, complaining about missing settings CFAR. Well, we don't use editor, it's more for the devs.
Yep.
Fixed falling through the world when logging in the volcanic cave in Purple Quad. Oh, I'm glad they fixed that. I haven't had it myself, luckily. But imagine you get off your mount in the purple, you start mining, or very simple put down a bedroll, go to bed because it's like time to end playing for today. We'll continue tomorrow, and then the next day you log back in, and during login in you fall through the world. Bye bye.
If your loot chest, oh dang it! If your loot chest is on the other side of the planet, then you lose all the items. That would also be pretty bad. So
Yeah,
we'll have to see. Luckily, we don't have to see actually because I fixed it. So let's hope it stays fixed.
exactly. So I'm glad they fixed it. It's a rude awakening, falling through the world. That's for sure. Fixed shadow geo issue on the yellow quarter and null sector final caves. Uh, the shadow artifacting mentioned above, I reckon. Again, haven't been there yet. Will go there this weekend. No worries. Further angle adjustments to canteens in hand for the best view with no clipping. Where your hand is like inside the canteen. Which is, by the way, as far as I know, still the case if you have like a rifle in your hand and then you wave. Your hand sticks through the rifle. Very funny. Uh, Adding unique rotated sockets for the water skin to match the angle of the others. Standard canteen angle to be rotated by Brent. Come on, Brent, rotate the standard canteen, man. So it looks pretty again. Fixed scale and pivots for several assets to better fit in the character's hand. Several assets. Hopefully including the gun. I mean, it's not a problem, but it just looks weird. Fix horse extra carry talent not requiring prerequisite talents. And the fall damage reduction talent requiring the extra carry talent. Oh, so they for the horse, and I reckon this is the Tyrannus, but it could be the horse. Um, they fiddle around with the order of the talents, huh?
I haven't seen the Tyrants at all at the moment, so I have yet to see exactly how useful it is or how extensive it is or what's changed because for me it's all new. So
Yeah, the thing is, I don't have a screen print or so of the old situation of the Tyrannus talents. I'd have to go through my streams and try to find a timestamp where I was opening, where I was like looking at the talents of the Tyrannus in order to compare them
not
with the current ones. But
not necessary. It's changed for a reason, so there's new things, and we'll just have to see what they are and whether or not it'll be more useful or still.
the only thing is, like, for player talents, you can like respec. Mount talents,
Yeah,
you cannot. You cannot unlearn a talent on a mount. So maybe now all of a sudden you don't need as much talent points to go to the talent setup you want for your horsey, and then you have like a talent point spare, which you can use for something more useful. Maybe depends definitely on
yep,
what you want to spec your horse's talents in.
yep,
But
yep,
we'll see.
yep.
Then our favorite
And
parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just skimming through so we
Yeah.
can get into the gameplay.
Yeah.
So adding a cheese icon. Obviously, we've mentioned that they're adding like stackable and sliceable items. So definitely a wheel of cheese most likely is going to happen as well.
Yeah.
Maybe,
That was for cakes.
you know. Yeah, no, it was for cakes, but it's the same methodology that could be used elsewhere as well. But at least cheese is
True.
being introduced. It's also using milk products. So because you mentioned cattle and cows and milking and all these things, it makes sense. So looking forward to all
So
those type
new
of
food type
things.
pizza, huh? We have the
Possibly,
dough.
it's going to
We
get
have the
there.
dough for the
Yeah,
bottom. We have the tomatoes for the
yeah,
tomato sauce. We have the
yeah,
bacon.
we'll get
We
there.
now get the cheese. So yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely want my
yeah,
pizza.
indeed. But
They
we've
changed a bit of
mentioned that
the
earlier. Then,
cost of the
so,
workshop resource packs.
yeah, see
Platinum
that.
has become cheaper. Gold has become more expensive. Additional
Yeah,
workshop resource packs set up for future release. Okay. Uh, deep mining wood. So we are going to get wood deep veins. Keep in mind, an existing open world has all the deep veins already set to a certain resource type. Uh, so if they add a new resource type to the table, the resource table for the deep veins, you'll have to start a new open world in order to get this new resource type. Exception on that rule, by the way, a while ago they added a bunch of new resources, oxide and stone, and at which point I was actually discussing this with Jake. Like, okay, but that does mean you need a new to start a new open world to get those new resources. And he was like, no, in this case, we're actually adding additional deep veins to all maps. But this is only going to be a single one wood, so I don't think they're gonna add new deep vein locations for just because they added this resource. So yeah, if you wanna be able to get a wood deep vein, you'll have to start a new open world. Just keep that in mind. Let's see. Boss inhaler item icon.
saw that last week.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for the
hopefully,
asthmatic bosses. Yeah.
yeah. So hook up the field gauge on the flamethrower. Just flamethrower stuff. Legendary weapon data fix tables. Legendary weapon. That's interesting.
I think these are those
Uh,
biofuel weapons, or the biomass weapons, like the ape grenade and what do we have?
yeah, and all those.
Rock
Yeah.
golem, the spikes and
Yep.
the gauntlet, and
Yeah.
the ape club, ice
Yeah.
mammoth sledgehammer, lava hunter flamethrower. A little
Yeah.
bit
Because here it
later
says
on.
prefixed all legendary weapons with the legendary weapon and added missing legendary weapon. So ape
Exactly.
club, ice mammoth, sledgehammer, lava hunter, or etc. etc.
Huh.
So that's all fine.
The
Trophies.
the the bullet point underneath that one, adding
Hmm.
juvenile rock golem.
Well, didn't they mention that you wanted to ride a rock golem? So you had to
Yeah,
definitely like tame one. So if it's the
juvenile
usual,
usually means tameable. Are we gonna be
yeah, but
able
didn't they
to tame a
say?
rock golem? I am so gonna want to tame a rock golem then.
I think I recall something to that effect. So I'm not sure exactly on the details, but yeah, that's what you would have a juvenile for. So it makes sense.
Exactly.
Um, fix an issue of biomass involving the Great Hunts. That's yet again the expansion, I think.
Um, n- uh, so we have the next big DLC with a new map and everything, which was mentioned way back and also in relative recent patch notes. And we have this new feature they're talking about in the last couple of patch notes. They are two separate things.
Mhm,
The DLC, I think, is going to be codenamed Elysium.
mhm.
We have seen that name pop up recently as well in relation to the DLC and new map, the Elysium map. So then I assume that the Great Hunt is the other item, the other thing.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen that mentioned also before, which is
Huh.
fine. And but yeah, bats no longer collide with players. Same thing as mentioned before in the notes. Some map streamlining once again.
Rules
I
audio
still want.
added.
Do you know if we can even delete items from the workshop yet,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
save the icons? I mean,
No,
like
you cannot.
because like
The
this
order in
ordering
the
kind of stuff. Yeah,
no,
that's
the
still
ordering no.
impossible to do. Okay, that's
Yeah,
still
but
a shame,
you
but
can
okay.
delete from the workshop now from workshop inventory for
Yeah,
quite a while already actually.
yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I just like I said, I haven't played very much since I've been moving. But anyway,
Yeah. IMP pass
sort
blockout
of.
on yellow quad Elysium. Like I said, Elysium, I think is gonna
Yeah,
be the code name for DLC 2, which they are talking about.
mm. Fixed panini issue. That's very
Yeah,
descriptive.
I know, right? Hey, well,
properties,
they got fresh bread
names.
basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, landscaping.
Um, Added new cheat that allows saving to disk and restoring loadouts equipment. Again for the devs. More
Mm,
Elysium.
mm. Hip armor sets. Variants to the
Uh,
juvenile rock golem spawners.
Adding custom
More.
mining outpost for GHRGA. Ah, GH Great Hunt.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So, adding a mission, fully playable, a dialogue setup, custom mining outpost.
Mm,
Two variants for the juvenile rock golem spawners.
yeah.
Let's see. Well, updated the bench kitchen stove in the tier 4 variant with
So here's
windows and
some.
new destructibles. Oh, like a nice oven with a glass door or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Hmm.
One of the things down there is setting up a new node for a frozen wood deposit. This is drilled with an ice borer.
Let me
Wondering if that's
see
the
if I can.
reference to the wood.
Yeah,
Close to the bottom. Yeah.
close to
It's
you.
like
Yeah, you're further.
it's yeah. It's like I mean, there's nothing up there which stands out.
Um,
But
frozen
it's
wood,
basically
frozen
yeah,
wood. I
yeah.
can't. I
It's
can't.
basically setting up a new. It's the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 9 from the bottom.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Frozen wood deposit in the deep
Yeah.
vein with frozen wood. You
Yeah.
need an ice
Exactly.
borer to put on it, not a deep vein drill. Kinda makes sense.
Yeah, so you can see adjusted the scale of the main stump area for deep mining wood and oh no, it says and the deep mining wood ice node, so that's actually going to be two different ones. Okay, so different nodes, both. So there's two new nodes resources, quote unquote, unless it's just the one is for the one biome and the other is for the regular, because it would be strange mining wood in the Arctic, I presume. Um,
Yeah, again, oh yeah, this one here, the main stump area of the deep
yeah,
mining wood.
yeah,
Deep
yeah.
mining wood ice. Ah, maybe we do get a normal wood and a ice wood indeed.
Yeah, no, that's what it says. Yeah, it says
Ah.
so therefore it makes sense.
So, talking about the ice wood, I quickly went through this on my phone earlier today, like I always do, and I did see something about the ice wood which you have to like thaw out in a furnace in order to make it usable wood.
Interesting. Yeah, which makes
Of
sense.
course,
Frozen wood
we
is.
have the if you use the cold steel axe to cut down trees, you get frozen wood from it.
Yeah,
This frozen wood you can burn straight away in a campfire or a furnace, and it consumes the wood slower than normal wood. So this deep vein with the ice wood is gonna be a different sort of ice wood then.
or they're going to change how it works.
That is possible, yes. That is
Okay.
possible.
far as I can see, some missions and some new things which we don't have to worry about. So we can pretty much, in my opinion, prepare for the gaming session.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Those were the patch notes. Again, not a whole lot of new today. That's why we were able to go through it so quickly. Basically, the only new thing is the tier 3 windmill, which we will be building in the subsequent gameplay.
Will be nice to see exactly what has moved because I think they mentioned certain things have moved as well, or we said that nothing was actually mentioned to have moved, and therefore it sort of just,
Well,
completely makes the question for how useful it would be considering how overpowered a Morton Pestle is in regards to you could just create multiple queues. So even if it processes twice as fast, three pestles would outperform it and have more storage and take less room,
true,
etc.,
true,
etc. So
and conveniently placed inside.
yeah, exactly, take less room. So
I don't think
inconvenient, yeah.
there's gonna be much that can be done in the windmill which cannot be done in the mortar and pestle though. We know
We'll
the
see.
material processor, there's the composite paste, but composites is
Yeah,
tier 4. There is
yeah.
the carbon fiber paste, the carbon paste, but carbon fiber is a tier, or is it tier 3 material?
No idea, but we'll
Is
see.
it used in the machining bench? I think it is actually, yes, because you need it for making the electricity tool. You need carbon
Possible,
fiber.
yeah.
So the carbon paste is a tier 3 recipe. They might
Yeah,
have
could be.
removed it from the mortar and pestle and put it in the
Yeah.
windmill.
Well, that's something to check once we go into the gaming session, because if
Exactly.
they did move something that forces you to craft it, then that's actually, even
Well,
though it's a little bit of a nerf, it makes sense that way, because you can't,
uh,
because if you don't make a reason to make it other than a
yeah.
cool aesthetic, and for a
And
slight
like
performance increase.
tier 2 recipes in the tier 2 bench, tier 3 recipes not in the tier 2 but in the tier 3 and 4 bench. People
Yeah,
who already have the material processor are going to be like, yes, so it's going to be in the material processor anyway, which is
exactly.
relatively small, which is inside, and etc.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to take a quick break, say 15-minute break, and then we'll be back with a separate stream for gameplay. We'll be running our co-op open world, and yeah, we'll definitely be checking out this new tier 3 windmill as well. And then obviously doing the normal co-op stuff we usually do. So Carl, I want to say thank you for being here,
Yeah,
for
as usual, it's perfect.
doing the patch notes.
Pleasure to be here, and obviously I'll see you in a couple of minutes for the gameplay. So,
Alrighty. As for the rest of you, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We do the patch notes discussion every Friday, 21:30 British summertime. Keep that in mind. British summertime does not do any daylight savings time. So yeah, it's early for me now during winter time, which means there's more time for gameplay after. We go through the patch notes, so you don't have to. I find them useful personally. The patch notes, you get an idea of what's new and what is to come. Uh, Not everyone wants to go through the patch notes on themselves, so hey, that's why we do it, so you don't have to. Uh, but anyway, like I said, I'm gonna call the stream for now. We will be back in at the moment like 13 minutes for subsequent gameplay. If you did enjoy watching this, or if you want to see the subsequent gameplay, you want to get notified when we start, hey, feel free to drop a follow, would be appreciated. Uh, Other than that, like I said, I'm gonna call it for now. Thanks for being here, and I hope I'll see you in 13 minutes for the subsequent gameplay.